What's up, and welcome back to the Lightweights Podcast. Today's guest, Magnus Ferrell.
Hello.
There was a very massively viral video of your dad DJing at your frat party.
Yeah.
What was that about?
Well, so I DJ for them. Me and my roommate, we both DJ. And yeah, I was like, hey, Dad, would you like to just come and DJ for us? And he was like, yeah, sure.
Was it for Parents' Weekend?
It was, yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
So it's like, it's also the craziest one of the year because they kind of let everybody in. And so security's pretty loose. And we have the second deck. And normally you're not allowed to go up for like registered parties, but since it's Parents' Weekend, they opened that up, and it was like packed, like shoulder to shoulder. Oh, wow. Yeah. So
does he know
really
what
fun.
he's doing?
Sure. Let's just say yeah, he does.
Did he play your new song?
No, he didn't. He didn't.
Oh, you gotta
He
drop
played a
that
bunch
then.
of, yeah, I know. But he played a bunch of like classics just to kind of get. It was more for the parents to kind of get them crazy, because if they're kind of crazy, then the kids go crazy just because they see like mom or dad like, yeah, let's go. You know. Yeah. Also, he had that big CO2 gun. He was just like.
Oh, was it T-shirt cannon?
No, it was like a smoke.
Oh, yeah. I thought I saw a T-shirt cannon in the background. I thought he was shooting it out to the crowd.
No, he was just like dousing everybody in CO2, basically.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Is USC as wild as I imagine it?
Depends on if you want it to be. It can be. I feel like there's a pretty good balance of like work and play. I think that like you do a lot of work and then you can kind of go crazy on the weekend if you want to.
Right.
But it's not like, I don't know. I feel like there's half people who really like to go out and party and you know, and then there's a half of people who like to stay in. So it's like, it just depends on what you want.
What half are you in? How do you fill up your day?
I think I'm pretty balanced. I'd like to say I'm balanced. Like during the week, especially now, I've been like preparing for the show that's coming up. Actually, yeah, the 19th. So it's been a lot of like work, and then on the weekend, you know, you give yourself a night and have fun and relax and, you know, hang out with your friends and meet people. And so yeah, I think I'm pretty balanced. I'd like to say I'm pretty balanced.
Yeah. So you have your new show next week where you're releasing your new song, Drinks on Me.
Yes. I mean, I'm releasing it a little early so people can listen to it. But yeah, that's kind of the whole thing. Just kind of introducing myself a little bit to the world as an artist. So
I listened to it and it's incredible.
I appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
Is this it's a little different from your other songs that you've released? Yeah. Is this a new style you're going for?
Yeah, I just think that it's the song where I've kind of found my sound. It's like definitely, it's just kind of more like I really vibe with it. The songs before, you know, I love and they're in my heart, you know, but I like when I was releasing them, I'm kind of like, oh, it's been so long. I kind of was a little bit sick of them when I was releasing them, but this one I'm still like super excited about, and I can still listen to in the car and be like, yeah, I really like this. Yeah, you know.
I was so excited for you to come on here because this is like a big moment for your musical career as you release.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like you're really pushing it on social media.
I'm trying.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Is this your first time really pushing yourself out there like that as your own artist?
Yeah, it's funny. Back to like those older tracks, like I did push those, but I wasn't as excited about them, and I feel like this is the song where I'm like, oh, this is really worth like putting all my resources and all my time and really like pushing this song because I'm super excited about it, and I really feel like it can do something. I hope, at least, you know, depending on how other people like it. So we'll see.
What was the process like for you narrowing it down to this song versus others?
It's a really good question. Because initially I was gonna do this in June. I was thinking of June because we thought it was like kind of a summer song. You know, it just didn't come together in time because you know, I'm traveling with my family over the summer, and so we needed to we kind of had like a deadline. But so then we just decided, hey, why don't we just move this and push this to the fall. And so it was the strongest song at that point in time. I only had that along with the other ones I had already released. So we just decided to keep it, and I don't know. I just think that it's a very it's a statement song, and I think it's like a very much of like a kind of a boom, and a good song to like open up with. I'm also gonna put out some more music along with it in the next like coming weeks, months, which I actually arguably am more excited about. So
in today's day and age, would you release an EP or do you release them all as singles?
That's interesting. What we're thinking of doing is releasing them like one by one, and then at the end releasing them together as an EP, because I feel like the people who don't know me yet are going to be more inclined just to listen to singles rather than a full EP, if that makes sense. Like if I have a random artist, I'm probably going to listen to the top song, and then maybe, if I really like it, I'll listen through, but like, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier too that you go on summer vacations with your family.
Yeah.
Do you do midsummer?
Oh yeah. We tried when I was younger. We tried to, cause like my mom's Swedish and we have a place out there, so we always go every summer for like a month.
Have you ever seen the movie?
I've heard about it. I've heard it's crazy.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's like the scariest part is like some of the like tradition stuff is like right, but obviously there's no killing. Like that doesn't happen, obviously. But like, but yeah, we do have that big like tower thing that you like dance around, and it's actually really sweet and really like wholesome. But yeah, it's really cool too because the sun doesn't go down that whole day because we're so far up north, and like that's probably one of my favorite parts is that like at 11 p.m. it looks like it's 4 p.m. here. It's insane.
Is that trippy where you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You're not tired?
Yeah, I had some buddies out for the first time, and I remember I'm sleeping, and I hear like these like springs, and it's like my trampoline, and it's 3 a.m, and because it's so light out already, they were like jumping on the trampoline and like running around the backyard because they're like, why is it so light out?
Oh, that's wild.
I'm used to it, but other people who haven't seen it before aren't, so it's kind of funny.
Yeah. For your live show,
mm-hmm.
Are you rehearsing it now?
Yeah. I'm like thinking about it constantly.
Who's in your band?
My roommate. His name's Gabe.
Shout out Gabe.
He's got perfect pitch. Like he can play a bunch of different instruments, so he's just kind of a freak. Yeah, and then we have Adam, who plays guitar, and then we have Drew, who's going to play drums, which is going to be really fun, and I'm really lucky.
And are you doing piano?
I'm not, no. I kind of want to be free and, like, run around a little bit and be kind of stupid and just have a good time. I don't know.
Who do you look up to performer-wise?
Performer-wise, I saw some Bruno Mars footage.
I was going to say that.
Insane.
Your music resembles it.
Oh, I appreciate that. That's a huge compliment. Thank you. But yeah, no, he just looks so effortless, and like he's obviously like he dances, but it's not like too much to where it's just like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. This is easy. Like I can do this in my sleep, and I think that's sick. I also last year I went to see like Lil Nas X at the YouTube when he played at YouTube what's it called? The YouTube Theater. And he's also like really engaging, and like his whole show was like it's almost like a play. Like he has acts, like different acts. And I just thought like the branding of it was super, super cool, and like I wouldn't say I'm like necessarily in his fan base, but I was still super engaged, But yeah, so those are just like good ideas to just like be yourself and have fun and just show everybody that you're having fun. Yeah, I don't know. So those are people I definitely look up to.
You like going to a lot of live events. I've seen you at the Kings game like 3 times. And I just asked if you were at the Dodger game the other night.
Right. Yeah, I do like my sports. I grew up playing like soccer and basketball and like a little bit of baseball too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like I love my Laker games. Yeah, I love my Kings games. The Lakers can get pretty hard on my mental health though. Like with last year, their whole 2-10 start, it was like I was mad.
I mean, what about the Dodgers now?
Well, now it's
0-2.
I mean, I feel like it's the same story every year where they're like great in the regular season and then some just got unlucky with all the pitchers like getting out. Anyway, but yeah, so I do love my live events. I do love my sports.
Were you raised here in LA?
I was, yeah, actually pretty close to here. I love LA. It's great. I feel like you kind of get everything in one here. You can have suburban area, you can have the beach, you can have city, like whatever you want. So
How'd you spend your time growing up?
obviously sports, a lot of sports. My mom played college soccer, and my dad actually played high school soccer. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but yeah, so soccer was huge when I was younger.
Is that what inspired the movie Kicking and Screaming?
No, but funny enough, he had to run off set because of being born during that movie. So.
And he was very excited for you to watch it for the first time.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch it?
I did, yeah.
What'd you think?
I was kind of young, so I was like, whatever. Oh, it's just dad on there, so I didn't, really notice. But yeah, I think it was pretty funny. Funny. Pretty good.
What other sports?
Basketball I played. I had to kind of quit in middle school, though, because they're the same season. But actually now play more basketball than any other sport, just like as exercise, because I try to.
Kids don't play hockey here, do they?
No, I mean, I know a few who do. There's like that one rink in Van Nuys. Like I only know that because my little brother wanted to play a little bit. But then like to learn how to skate, like that's not like a natural thing here because there's no winter. But like if you were like on the East Coast, you have winter, you go skate and whatever. And then in the spring, that's when you play the other sports.
A lot of kids played hockey back on the East Coast, but I feel like no one plays it here. And you guys don't have school buses here either, right?
School buses?
Do they have school buses?
Yeah, I think they have school buses.
Really?
I've been on a school bus. I feel like they have school buses.
Oh, I never see them in the morning. That's why.
I think, yeah, I don't know.
I feel like parents do drop-offs all the time.
I feel like that's probably more the case. Like I took the bus sometimes, but I was mainly, I feel like, dropped off when I couldn't drive.
Yeah. What other LA staples did you go to here? Because I find LA so fascinating because I'm a transplant. I've been here for 6 years. So when I hear other people's like favorite restaurants, I get so excited.
Yeah. Let me see, like my favorite restaurants. Well, there's one, Chinatown, obviously. There are these really cool little shops, and there's this one restaurant that I don't know the name of because it's written like it's in Chinese, so I don't know what the name of the place is. But yeah, it's like there's no reservations. You sign your name up, you wait. They call your name, you sit down. It's like traditional, like it's insane. And I'm a fan of Asian food, obviously. So.
Do you know Shibuya in Woodland Hills?
No, I don't.
It's same vibe.
Oh, same vibe.
Yeah, you write your name down, and then if you don't make the first seating, you have to wait like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I think that's sick. I think that's awesome.
It's such a cool thing.
I don't know. It's just like places like that, like little like hole in the wall. Like I don't know. They're great.
Do you know Apple Pan or Big Chill?
Oh, Big Chill, I do know. My roommate's a big fan of Big Chill. I think it's in is it in Malibu, Big Chill?
Westwood.
No, why did I think it was Malibu? But yeah, anyway. I have yet to have it. But
Did you tour other colleges? How'd you know to land on USC?
I did. I only toured like 5 schools because I just knew what I wanted to do.
Did you not want to go far from home?
It's funny. I actually had USC at the bottom of my list when I started applying. For that reason, I wanted to get out. But as I started to narrow down, I kind of had an epiphany. I was like, well, I'm going to have to move all my stuff. And it's kind of going to be a pain in the butt to move all my stuff across the country. Like I was looking at Berklee School of Music in Boston. And I thought it was really cool. I just it's not really like a college in terms of it doesn't have that university feel to it. It's specifically strictly for music, which I have no problem with. It's just more I kind of wanted to be at a university where I meet people of all different walks of life. Yeah, so I ended up staying here because it was easy, and I'm able to transport all my studio stuff and keep it at my apartment dorm thing that I have. So yeah.
And who's your roommate?
Gabe.
What role does he play with your band?
He's
artistry.
Yeah, no, he's a producer. He's a really talented producer. We met in high school, and it was when we were in the jazz band. We both played piano, so we were fighting against each other for the spot.
Who won?
And he did. He's just perfect pitch, man. He's crazy, and he's also just.
What does that mean?
Talented.
He could just hear notes.
So if I flicked this, he could tell you that it's an E flat or something.
And you're just born with that?
Yeah. You can also, I think you can also learn it if you're really young. There's a lot of there's some Asian languages that have the tonal stuff, so they learn it when they're younger. just by the language. But he's my producer. We've been writing together since we were like 15, like 16. But yeah, like we were against each other in jazz band, and then one day we both were like, why are we like competing? Like, this sucks. Like, I wish we could just be in the same band together. And then we didn't really care anymore, and then we were just buds. So yeah.
In a perfect world, where do you see your music going?
Oh, I mean, the goal, like, my goal is like I went to Coachella 2 years ago now. I'm trying to think. Yeah, anyway. But when I was there, I was like, dang, I just want to be on the stage. I don't really want to be in the crowd. Like, I want to be up on the stage. I want to do the headlining stuff. Like, I want to do all of it, you know. And it's like a pretty lofty goal, but at the same time, it's like what's the point if you don't have like this goal, this dream, this whatever? So
do you get nervous with all eyes on you?
Sometimes yes, and sometimes when it's a bigger crowd and a bigger moment, I'm like, oh, this feels right. Like, this just kind of feels like what I'm supposed to be doing. And I kind of just calm down a little bit. I just feel like hope. Yeah, I just get excited. I don't know. But then sometimes I've had to like play for smaller rooms, and I've almost been more nervous in some ways just because it's more intimate.
Yeah, I've heard other people say that, because in a small room you're making eye contact with people versus the big room you see a sea of people, and there's less connection. Right,
yeah, like it's like a wall of you just don't see much because like the lights are on you. You maybe see a couple silhouettes, but like I don't know.
And this next show, is that your fourth show now?
God, I'm trying to think. I've done like way more things, like little showcases and stuff, but it's definitely like I want to say my most impactful one. Yeah.
And it's open to the public?
It is, yeah. You can RSVP in my bio. It's free for charitable. For a charitable cause, so it's good.
How big is the room? Do you know?
Yeah, it's gonna be about like 1,100, 1,200 people.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It should be really fun. Hopefully, if people show up and it's not like empty. But yeah, so.
Do you have any special surprises for it?
I don't know. We'll see. Wow. But yeah, so it just should be a fun night.
Are you doing covers? Or all originals?
I'm going to try and stick to a lot of originals, but yeah, I'll throw some covers in because, you know, people are going to know some of my originals, but people will know the covers for sure.
What covers would you select?
I really like Creep by Radiohead. I don't know. I did it once at a show, and I'm like kind of in love with it. I know it can be kind of cliche in some ways, but I don't know. The bridge, like, when you go high up, it's like, I don't know. There's not a lot of songs like that. It's a pretty unique song. So.
Do you have vocal lessons?
I do, yeah. I've been taking vocal lessons since my freshman year of high school. Yeah.
Are your parents supportive of you pursuing the musical road?
Yeah, I think so. It's a pretty like hot and cold route, you know. Like I remember my dad always told me, like with his dad, that it was like pretty on or off. Like he'd be playing piano at like an Italian restaurant for 6 months, and then he'd come home and be like, well, I got dropped. And my dad as a kid would be like, why? Don't they love you? He's like, yeah, they do. They're just kind of moving on. So it was a lot of like small gigs and what you can get like kind of living hand to mouth a little bit, which is like that can be the music business, and that's like the risk. But I don't know, as long as I'm able to do it and just make a living off of it eventually, I guess that's kind of the goal. And they just want me to be happy. And so I'm lucky to have supportive parents in that way.
With this last song, Drinks on Me, what was the studio process like that you recorded it in?
It's really funny, actually. So we recorded it. So at USC, they have these dorm apartments.
Oh, I love this story.
Yes. So it's like basically it's like dorms. It's like the same thing, but instead of dorm rooms, it's like apartments. And we recorded it there. We started making this weird like beat, and we also did it right before we went to a Laker game. So we started half of it before and then finished it after. But I don't know, it was just like a bizarre, we wanted to make something sound weird a little bit, sound like have its own like real identity. That was just like, it was just weird. And like we started with like some mouth, like we literal like sampled my mouth going like and like tick, and like all that stuff. And I literally took I took a glass and like started like hitting it with a knife and like all this weird just ambience and like effects that we just wanted to make it sound like ear catching a little bit. I don't know. So that was kind of the process, and we were like, let's write about college. Like, well, let's write about what we're doing, and let's just write about like parties and, you know, drinking and whatever, and, you know, so we just kind of did that basically.
So it's just the two of you recording, writing,
yep,
mixing, mastering.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Actually, the master's by this guy Philly.
Do you send it out?
We did send the master, but Gabe did mix it. So.
Right. What does your USC dorm look like?
Yeah, so it's like,
you have the college art where it's like I just picture Spencer's posters.
Right. So it's like basically, it's pretty bare to be honest, but it's like basically how that works is like we still share a room. We have like our lofted beds and everything, but we share a room, and then we have our own bathroom, shower, and like kitchen, like little living space connected to it. But yeah, in terms of like how we decorate it, just a lot of like guitars and music stuff. We have some speakers, and I don't know, it's pretty bare to be honest.
It's definitely the music vibe.
Yeah, but not like the cool like the cool rugs and like cool like posters, like not that vibe, like kind of like concerning, just bare music vibe, like
typical college guy.
Yeah.
Do you spend a lot of time on campus?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do. I have classes and stuff, obviously, that I have to go to. In terms of like me just spending time, I feel like I could do more of that. I don't go walk around just to go around, like we do that on our freshman year because it was so cool to be at school, but now it's like less of that. But I feel like I could do that more. Like, we went to like just tape up flyers with my QR code to go RSVP. We had like 50 of them, and we were like kind of walking. This is me and my roommate, me and Gabe. But we were just like walking, like, man, we feel like we could do this more. This is kind of nice. It was like at night. It was like pretty chilly. Yeah. So
that's like the real DIY artist.
Yeah, no, it was definitely fun just to put them up around campus. A lot of them obviously got taken down, so we now know where to not put them. But
would you ever go by just Magnus?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there's a couple Magnuses in the world. Like there's that chess player. I saw that documentary. He's really crazy. I'm trying to think. I think there's a couple like strongmen who are named Magnus too, like the big dudes who like lift the big, lift the trucks and whatever.
That's what your dad wanted originally.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's why he named me. He was like, "Yeah, you're gonna be the next strong man."
Strong man.
I don't know. I just feel like Magnus Ferrell is such a like contrast name, like because the Ferrell part is like pretty Irish and like. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't think anybody has my name really. Yeah. So I don't know. I just keep it.
Growing up, you're one of three boys. Mm-hmm. You're the oldest. Mm-hmm. Do you think that impacted you following the path of music?
I think what impacted me, the thing that made me want to do music was, I remember specifically, it was actually during COVID. I had like a little mic. I had like a little interface. My mom had gotten me like Logic for my birthday, and I had it on my computer, and I just remember I woke up and I started making a song. I don't think it was very good, but I just remember looking at the clock, and it was like 10 a.m., and then I remember looking at the clock after it felt like I'd worked for an hour, and it was like 8 p.m., and I didn't notice that time had gone by, so I was like, oh, okay, I think I really like this. Back to my brothers, they played piano too. I don't know if they like contributed to like me wanting to do music, but they definitely contributed to other things. Yeah, it was just really fun and kind of hectic growing up with three boys.
Hectic in what way?
Like we just like
activities left and right.
Yeah, we used to play this game called like, so my middle brother is like, he's huge for his age. Like can grow a full beard. Like I can't really grow a full beard. He grows a full beard. He's 16. And he's like 6'7". Yeah, like 200 pounds. It's ridiculous. It's really unfair. So I'd have this like brute of a 6-year-old, like 100 pounds as a 6-year-old, and like we'd just be like fighting and like making up these weird games. Like we had this soccer game where which they all played sports too, very sporty. It was called Sexy Tim. It was like, I think it was after Tim Howard, because one person was the goalkeeper, and it was a pretty standard game, but like if the person scored, then you get to be the goalkeeper. It was like pretty simple, but we had these weird names for it, and like we'd play these weird games all the time. Actually, to be honest, I think the creativity of that probably helped with like songwriting in some way, just to like think outside the box like that, and like be weird and be fun and be kind of dumb, and I don't know. So I'm very grateful for that. But yeah.
Yeah. So you had the freedom to pursue music with that, the logic, the interface.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and also like I was friends with Gabe at the time, so I had him on my phone constantly, sending him stuff, and he was sending me stuff, and we were just bouncing ideas off of each other. And I had like someone, like a partner almost, to like grow with, and to like push me. And like every time he sent me something that I thought was cool, it inspired me to go, okay, I'm gonna go work on something. I'm gonna go make something. I want to go make something that's as cool as that. I want to set the bar higher for him to then set the bar higher for me. So just that type of dynamic, which, I'm really lucky to have, and I don't think a lot of people get the opportunity to have that.
That's so cool.
But
you guys met in high school?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, middle school, but we weren't really friends till high school. Yeah.
Who is the craziest person that came over for family dinner?
Oh, yeah, so I have it's kind of a bizarre story. It wasn't really like family dinner. It was more like I don't know. We had this like, we were doing this like Christmas thing where we have like close friends and family, and John C. Reilly was there, and at one point it was like pretty normal, and then he just one point he started singing opera. Just performed an opera song, and it was just like the most amazing thing. Like, it was bizarre, but then you're like, wait, this is so funny. So yeah, that's like, I think that's my story.
Were you allowed to watch movies like Step Brothers growing up?
Not till I was older. Like, there's still some movies that I haven't seen yet, just because I haven't seen them. Like, I haven't seen Blades of Glory, which I think is kind of a crime. But yeah, Step Brothers, I think is my favorite one out of his movies. I just think it's funny. Yeah.
Did you see the other guys?
I saw like a little bit, like half of it. I haven't seen all of it, but I know. It's bad. I need to like catch up. But
was there a moment specifically that made you want to pursue music?
Yeah, actually, I hated piano when I was little.
So did I. So to hear that you were enrolled as a kid and you loved it or pursued it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, there was like definitely, there was a transition point when I was 13 or 14. I hated it up to that point because it was a lot of like, you gotta learn your scales, like memorizing stuff, and like a lot of like just like boring, like busy work type of things, if that makes sense. But my mom always had this rule, like, hey, like when you're 18 you can quit. And by the time I was 18, I actually loved it. So anyway, back to the point of the story. When I was like 13, 14, that's when I started to learn jazz. I got like a jazz teacher who really, his name is Sam Hirsch. He's awesome. I love him. And like, I appreciate all the tools that he's given me that I now use frequently to make music. But yeah, like I started learning jazz stuff. And at first it was really hard and like really frustrating, but the more I practiced, there was like a certain point where it just kind of clicked, and I was kind of able to play like what I was hearing in my head, like not like perfect pitch, but like I had ideas, I had melodies, I had all this stuff that had seemingly come out of nowhere, but it was all through just like drilling over the years. But yeah, at that moment I was like, wow, this is really cool. I can just kind of if I keep working at it, it'll get better and better and better. So that was definitely, I think that was the moment where I was like, okay, this is possible, that do music. I didn't know what, but I knew that I really liked it at least.
If you didn't have that music, what other path do you think you would have taken?
I'm still interested in the acting thing. It's not like at the forefront of my priorities right now.
Do you go to classes?
I do, yeah. I'm in an acting class actually. But if I was able to weave that in, I would want to do like what Childish Gambino does, how he's doing music and, acting. Like that would probably be the ultimate goal.
What style of acting?
I did a lot of I also did a lot of musical theater in high school, so that helped a lot with developing both things. Yeah, I don't know, I guess TV and just film stuff.
Drama.
Yeah,
comedy,
or comedy.
anything?
It doesn't even matter. Yeah, anything honestly. Yeah, I don't think I'm there yet with necessarily narrowing down to what I would prefer to do, but I think I'm pretty open to anything honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you still doing sports now?
I played a little bit of intramural soccer, and a little bit of intramural basketball.
That's just signing up at school, right?
Yeah, yeah. But I just try and get my exercise in, obviously.
Yeah.
Because it's hard when you're in a sport, you don't even think about it, and you're exercising 2 to 3 times a week and pretty intensely too. Yeah. So just trying to keep up with it, but yeah.
You seem like you have your hands full.
In the last couple weeks, a little bit, yeah. But normally I have a pretty good amount of free time. But when I'm busy, it's fun. I don't mind it. It doesn't feel like work necessarily. It's just I enjoy it, I don't know. So yeah, but I guess so.
Do you think you're gonna finish out school?
That's a good question. I think the only reason why I would leave school is if I had a reason, and if I was financially, I guess just completely independent and solely because of music, if that makes sense. And if school was it just was getting in the way of furthering my music career, then I would probably choose to leave school. But I don't, it'd have to get to a really strong point for me to leave school. But that's also a driving factor. Me and Gabe, we both look at each other let's find a reason. Let's do the reason. Let's make the reason to not have to go to school. Obviously that I'm lucky to be in school and have that opportunity. But yeah. So I don't know. I don't think a songwriting degree is instantly gonna get me to sign a record deal and then put me on tour, that doesn't really make sense. But yeah, I think it's beneficial for a lot of people, and I think there's still a lot of things that I can learn right now. But yeah, so we'll just see.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Do you think you're going to leverage social media to try and push your music?
Yeah, I think you kind of have to nowadays. I think TikTok and Instagram Reels and every social media platform, that's the way to boost your music. It just takes one viral video, one video to boost a song, and then you put another one out, then bang, you have millions of views on it, and then people know what your song is, and you get more attention. So
did you consume TikTok and YouTube?
I try not to because it's I feel it's pretty unproductive, but it's so hard when you're having to post to not it's so addicting to just bang, you're on this, I'm just gonna swipe up, 5 minutes, you're wow, I've got lost in a whole tunnel of videos. I don't know. So
I mean, your new TikTok that you just posted where you dressed up in the costumes was really good. It was edited really well.
I mean, iMovie is king. So.
Oh, you do it?
Yeah, I don't know. I just try to be weird. I just kind of be authentic to myself.
Who's in your inner circle that you show your music to for feedback?
I share my music. I'll share my music with Gabe. I'll share my music with, my buddies who are doing music. But it's hard because sometimes you get a music person's feedback. You know what I mean? Which may not reflect what if I showed my music to you. If I showed my music to a random person on the street, it may not reflect accurately what the general public would think of your music, if that makes sense. If I'm meeting a random person, hang out with random people and it comes up, I'm not like, hey, look at my music as soon as I can. But like if it comes up in conversation and they ask about it, I actually really appreciate the just the hard, like authentic feedback you get from a random person, you know?
Yeah, because when I asked you to come on, I hadn't heard your new song. And then
Right.
I remembered, I'm like, I should probably listen to it before you come on. And I was like, thank God it's really good. Because otherwise the conversation would have been confusing.
Yeah, exactly. Like I had this point where I would just swipe right on Tinder and then go on dates and then just have them review the song and then I would leave basically.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
With your dad being successful
Yeah.
in media, would you ever ask for his opinion? And do you ever view it as, Dad, don't tell me what to do type of thing?
He's always really like, I mean, I will send him songs just to keep him updated because, you know, he's my dad and, you know. But mainly he'll like compliment it and he'll always be super positive about it. So it's like definitely like a nice boost to my self-esteem, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's like the most like accurate constructive feedback.
Does
just
he
because
give it?
he's not like doesn't have a music background necessarily.
So he gives it to you more in like the fatherly response?
Like, awesome, this is great, like this is so cool, and then he'll respond and like, oh, I really like how this sounds. So like I feel like a little bit more specific than like if you ask the random person. But yeah, I don't know.
So there's a lot of kids who get embarrassed by their parents. Would you ever get embarrassed by anything?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely, like, there was one time, this was during quarantine, and we were all kind of going crazy. But on Easter, my mom, like, woke me up, and she was like, here, come outside, you gotta show you something. I'm like, okay, whatever, and, like, you know, the whole thing where you gotta go find the eggs, da-da-da-da-da. And I look outside, and there's just this, like, guy in this, like, weird Easter bunny costume, and he's just like kind of like trotting around like kind of bizarre, and he's making this weird face, and he's like starts singing like this Easter bunny song, and it's him like dressed up in this like weird Easter bunny costume, like running around like saying, I'm the Easter bunny, like just like, bizarre. And like he comes and tickles us and then runs away, and then he's like, you gotta go find your eggs, and he's like, talking in a weird voice. I don't know. So yes, yeah. Just like stuff like that. I don't know. He's someone who has no shame. Like it feels like social anxiety is like afraid of him, if that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. I really admire that, to be honest. Yeah, he'd also do this thing where like we'd be in the pool and he'd be like, I think I see a white whale sighting. And he'd do a dive, and you just see his butt.
Yes, I did that the other day.
Yeah. So that type of, I don't know, that type of stuff, I guess.
Would you ever get dragged to events that you didn't want to go to at all? Because I saw a clip too. You guys were at the Emmys, and he was doing a speech, and he's like, he was wearing just regular clothes.
We were in a soccer gear.
Yeah, he's like, I just found out we were coming tonight. We just left the soccer game.
Yeah, I mean that happened. We did leave the soccer game, and he was like, "Hey, will you guys come do this?" It was never like I never felt obligated to do it, but we just thought, oh, it'd be fun, whatever. Okay, we'll just go with him. Ooh, this is cool. But yeah, I don't know. They gave me an iPad to like pretend to play on, so that's what I was doing. I was just like tapping on it.
Well, is there anything else on your song coming up?
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously you want to do more songs, but do you have an idea of when you're going to be releasing this?
Yeah, so I have a lot of songs I've written that, like, I mean, either they won't ever get released or touched, but I have a lot of songs that I really am excited about.
What does that look like for you? Do you just have them saved as project files?
Yeah, I mean, when me and Gable have enough sessions, you kind of build up a long list of songs, so that you just kind of have, like, because each session you normally finish a song, or at least the demo of it. So it's not finished, but like you have the idea and you kind of have the completed thing. And so yeah, you build like a whole library basically, and then like maybe every 10 songs you maybe choose one of those one of those songs to use because I don't know, it's the best out of the bunch. But yeah, so I'm planning on putting out a couple more just before like the holidays at least, because that's when everything kind of dies. Yeah, so I'm super excited about those.
Does the songwriting look like for you where you write it on your notepad? Do you write it on physical pen and paper? Where do your ideas normally land?
I am a pen and paper kind of guy. I don't know. There's something really satisfying about writing stuff down. I mean, sometimes we'll do a shared note, like on your phone. But yeah, if I can, I do like to write down, like in a little journal or a little book. Like I have like a book. I don't know where it is because I think I've used it all, but it's somewhere I have it, and it's like full of just like random crap, and it's just like written and whatever. So, yeah.
Where do you pull the inspiration from? Is it through experiences throughout the day?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's normally it's all like emotions and stuff you're feeling and just stuff that's happening in your life and you can find a lot of cool concepts to write about with stuff happening in our lives, and that's usually like a lot of the times that's what you start with, like, yo, you literally almost have a therapy session, like, yo, what's going on in your life, like what's been happening, like what's your relationships like, and a lot of the times you write a song about a relationship, or you know, in the case of Drinks on Me, like we're like, hey, why don't we just write like a cool song about like our experience in college? I don't know, so it's just like, yeah, it's a lot, it's a lot of different things that you can pull from.
Is your frat going to be bumping your new song at parties?
I mean, I hope so. I don't know if it's necessarily the type of song to play.
You don't think so?
I mean, maybe. You know, I mean, I'm selling myself short a little bit.
I think you are.
Yeah, we'll see how the crowd likes it. We'll just have to eyeball it while we're playing it. But yeah, I don't know.
Is the party life at USC? Do you hang out at the frat house?
I'm not like a super fratty guy, I feel like, and like that's no disrespect to people who are, like, you know, but I don't know, I just really like to DJ, and me and my room, we just really like to DJ, and we think it's really fun.
Do you ever get noise complaints?
No, because what you do is you register the party with like, I don't know how it works, but it's like so there's like the USC like frats, right? And then there's like the national, like there's the same, there's the same frats at different schools. There's like the national, like, I don't know, the national like frat like stuff, and you register all your parties with them. And if you do, then you're allowed to like have a party for a certain amount of time without won't get noise complaints.
Oh, that's so wild.
Also, like, since we're in South Central, I feel like shutting down a college party is probably the least of the police's concerns. So yeah, so normally no.
Yeah, I never realized where USC campus actually was.
Yeah, no, it's right in the thick of it for sure. You gotta be careful, but yeah.
Would you ever attend any USC activities there?
Like, what do you mean? Like, just like USC like held stuff?
Yeah, so because I know you're doing the music program there. Mm-hmm. Do they have any like to bring the school together, community type stuff?
Yeah, they have like what they do in the pop major. They have like these showcases. A couple, I don't know how many times a semester, but at least a couple times a semester, where they actually have these sound stages, and like also they have this little bar for like the first year program to do their show, or it rotates, but whatever. It's an open show that you can go and see like kids who do like pop stuff, which is really cool because there's so many talented people in that program. Like I went, and they had to do, because how it works, I know that they have to like learn songs, like pop songs all the way from like the 60s, and as you keep going through the major, you go through time. So like by the end of your major, you're learning like more pop songs closer to, our era of like the 2000s and stuff. But yeah, so you get to see live music and people's interpretations of songs that you probably know. So it's really cool. And yeah. So there's a lot of that music stuff that I tend to go to, or at least check out. So yeah.
Do you know any notable people who have graduated from USC in the music program? From the music program?
I know. There's this artist. Remy Wolf. Have you heard that name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she was at Thornton. my jazz piano teacher actually went to USC, and he learned under another jazz pianist. I'm getting all jazzy, but his name is Alan Pasqua. He was at I think he's a professor still at USC, but yeah. So he learned under Alan, and then I learned from him, and then Alan is actually Gabe's piano teacher. So it was a whole ring of piano teachers, basically.
That's wild.
But yeah, I'm trying to think. I know. Do you know Louis the Child?
Yeah.
I think he went to USC. I believe he went to USC, but I may be completely wrong.
Yeah, USC is very prestigious.
Yeah. It can be a little snobby sometimes too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is very prestigious.
Damn. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, your show, October 19th, open to the public.
Yep.
Go on your Instagram, sign
But
up.
you do have to RSVP. It's not like walk in. You got to get a ticket.
Okay.
Fair, yeah.
You have to be approved.
But it's free. It's free. It's still free.
Go pre-save. Drinks on Me. It's going to be out October 15th. It's going to be linked down below.
Yes. Thank you.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, Magnus, thanks so much for
Yeah.
coming by.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Everybody go save the song. And yeah, Lightweights. Out.
There's a camera. I forgot it.
Cool. That was great.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.